everyone, this is Heather. Thanks so much for joining me. Today I've got a card tutorial for you and we're going to be making this fun card with some books and a cat. This is the perfect card to welcome someone to a new home, or if you're moving and you want to let people know your new address, this would be really cute for that as well. To me, nothing says home more than books and cats. Those are two things that I'm really into. So I thought this was a sweet card. I'm going to be using some stamps from Stampin' Up. I'm using the brand new Check You Out stamp set, and this is available in the new annual catalog. It has some books, a library card pocket, a cute owl, a bookworm, and some glasses, a heart graduation cap, which would be fun for graduation cards, and some really great sentiments. I'm also using the 9 Lives cat set. This has been previously released, but it is still available in the new catalog, and it's got like a outline of a cat, and then you can do like a tabby cat or a calico, and it's got some really great cat embellishments. And I'll also be using the coordinating cat punch. For my cardstock base, I just have a piece of yellow cardstock cut, scored, folded in half. I've got a piece of pattern paper, and this is cut to 5 1/4 by 4, and this is from the Stampin' Up 6x6 Designer Series papers. It has some like script on the back, but I thought this looked like a really great wallpaper pattern. I have some white cardstock for stamping and some strips of tan and white for the photo frame. Using black pimento ink, I've gone ahead and stamped out my cat outline, the bowl, the cat toy, and the bow. And the colors of ink that I'm using today are Balmy Blue, So Saffron, and Calypso Coral. Using Calypso Coral, I'm going to stamp out 2 of the books, and I've just placed them on the same block just to save time. Using So Saffron, I'm stamping out one of the other books and the glasses. I've cleaned off the books that I stamped with the Balmy Blue, and I'm going to be stamping them again in Calypso Coral. Also using Calypso Coral, I'm going to be stamping out the interior of the bow. And if you have trouble lining these up, you could use a stamp positioner. I'm going to stamp the inside of the mouse with So Saffron. And since there is no inside stamp for the food bowl, I'm just going to take a Calypso Coral marker and just fill that in. I'm ready to stamp the pattern of my cat, and because clear stamps can kind of move and shift a little bit, I want to make sure that the tail is lined up nicely. So I just want to place it on top there, make sure the tail's in a good place. I'm going to pick that up with my block, and I'm going to ink it up in the So Saffron, and I'm going to stamp that pattern on my cat. Again, if you have trouble lining this up, you could use a stamp positioner. I wanted to add a little bit more color to my kitty, so I'm using a light pink pirouette marker on the inside of the ears and around the cheeks. I'm ready to punch out my cat. If you've never used these punches, they're really great because they will fold down and you can flip the little latch there, and it makes them a lot easier to store. When you're ready to use it, just flip that latch and it's ready to go. So I'm just going to slip my paper in my punch and get everything lined up and punch that out. And there are no dies or punches for the rest of the elements, so I'm just going to take my scissors and cut out all of these elements. I'm going to leave just a little bit of a white border around each one. So here are all my images cut out. I'm going to move those off to the side for a second, and I'm going to work on my wooden floor. So I've just taken a strip of tan cardstock. It's been cut to 1 by 5 1/4, and I'm taking light and dark crumb cake markers on the brush end, and at a little bit of an angle, I'm just going to make some dash marks. Just real loose. Not difficult. So I'm going to use the light crumb cake, go back in with a couple of the dark here and there. Don't overthink it. Now I'm going to use a ruler and a fine tip marker. I'm using a Le Pen permanent marker. You just want anything that kind of has a fine tip to it. And I'm going to lay my ruler across my tan cardstock, and it doesn't have to be, you know, perfectly even or straight or anything. I'm just going to take my marker and I'm going to draw a line across. I'm going to move down and I'm going to draw another line. So just have those two lines on there. And then every once in a while between those lines, I'm just going to make another straight line just to kind of make it look like wood planks. And then on either side of some of those lines that I've drawn up and down, I'm just going to make a couple little dots just to look like nails holding the boards down. So here's our fun wooden floor. For my little picture frame, I'm going back to my black Memento ink, and on a small piece of white cardstock, I'm going to stamp out the starting a new chapter. And now I'm going to use the stitched shape rectangle die that measures about 1 by 2.5. And I'm going to place that with the words kind of off to the left. And I'm going to take a piece of repositionable tape. I'm going to tape this in place. I'm going to run it through my die cut machine. So I'm just going to remove this from the die. This side will have a stitched on it, but we're not going to use that for this project. We're going to use the inside on this. And now I've got another piece of the same tan that I made the floor out of, and this one measures 1 1/4 inch high. So what I want to do is lay my die down so that there's a little bit of the tan on the top and the bottom. So what I'm going to end up with is a bit of stitching right around that thin little line. So after die cutting that, I'm going to remove the die carefully. And for this part, I just want the outside frame. So I'm going to get rid of the other piece. I'm ready to begin assembling my card. So I'm going to take my pattern paper and center that on my card base. I'm also just going to use regular adhesive on the back of my wooden floor, and I'm just going to line that up with the edges of that blue pattern paper. Next, using my scissors, I'm just going to trim away the right-hand side. Going back to the tan frame, I'm going to go in and just make a couple little marks here so I know where to trim that away. And I'm just going to cut that with my scissors. With tape runner, I'm going to apply the sentiment in the upper right hand corner, and because this piece is so thin, I'm just going to use a glue pen for the back of this, and then I'm just going to line this up around that to form like a little picture frame. I'm ready to start building my scene. So on the back of all of my images, except for the bow and the bowl, I've placed foam tape. I'm just going to begin stacking my books. Kind of overlapping just a little. Move a couple off to the side just to make it look a little bit more realistic. And on the top of the stack of books, I'm going to place my glasses at a little bit of an angle. I place my cat in my scene. And a little mouse on the floor. I've got a glue dot on the back of the bow. I'm just going to place that around the kitty's neck. And a little regular adhesive on the food dish. And here is our finished card. I think this is really sweet to send to someone who's maybe just moved into a new house, or let someone know that you've moved. And I really love the mixture of these two sets. Like I said before, I'm a big reader. I have 2 cats, so I just thought this was a really fun scene card to put together. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to check out my channel and consider subscribing. I have lots of other card tutorials and product reviews for you, and I hope you have a fantastic day. This is Heather. Bye.